finished my 30-day iPhone challenge months ago, so why am I still dailying this thing? It's not because I love it, it's because I've been waiting for this. As someone who dailied the Galaxy Note 9 for over 5 years, I've come to appreciate Samsung's One UI, as well as their inclusion of useful features, like microSD expansion, a headphone jack, and of course, an integrated stylus. Now, some of those features have been courageously lost on the latest spiritual successor to my beloved Note 9, but I do still find that the stylus is incredibly useful day to day when marking up documents or screenshots, and there are some new things that I have come to love about Samsung's latest best. Starting, of course, with the screen. Just like last gen, we get a whopping rated 2600 nits of peak brightness, which our labs testers found it was able to exceed in a 10% window. And we get a second generation of Corning's incredible glare-reducing coating. Look at this. This is a studio light. Okay, let's grab my iPhone by comparison. That is flipping incredible. And of course, it's not, just that the iPhone is bad or whatever. You take an old Android device and do the same thing, and you're gonna have a pretty bad time. Wow, game changing. How does it compare to last gen though? Here's an S24 Ultra for comparison. Yeah, I don't know if I'm convinced it's changed that much. And honestly, from our measurements, it really doesn't look like it has. Both of these, within what we'd consider to be device-to-device variants, hit about the same brightness and about the same overall performance. Which isn't to say that Samsung didn't change anything about the performance on the inside. It uses the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, a 3nm chip that delivers markedly better performance compared to last gen. This might be the biggest generation over generation improvement that we've seen in quite some time. I'm talking a 10% improvement in single-threaded performance and a 30% improvement in multi-thread performance, even in a light performance mode, which goes up to more like 36 and 38% performance improvement if you're running in the standard performance mode. That's really impressive. It's got 12 gigs of RAM, up to a terabyte of storage, and feels just butter smooth with a variable refresh rate display that can do anywhere from 1 to 120 Hertz. Man, it feels smooth. It's a 1440p class screen, specifically 3120 by 1440, so even the very eagle-eyed among you will appreciate its sharpness, but it should be noted that you might not be appreciating it for as long. Compared to the last generation S24 Ultra, we actually measured about an hour less battery life in video playback at the same screen brightness, running the same video under the same conditions. It's still 20 plus hours, but it is something for you to watch out for, and our best guess is that this comes down to the more powerful processor on board. While Samsung still hasn't adopted any of the just wild high wattage charging rates that some of the Chinese phone manufacturers have, we found that it only takes a little over 70 minutes to go from 0 to a full charge. Unfortunately, the wireless charging is a bit more of a downer. It supports what Samsung calls their fast wireless charging 2.0, which is limited to 15 watts, and while it's ready for Qi charging 2.1, which allows magnetic alignment, just like Apple's MagSafe, it doesn't have the magnets for the standard, so you have to get a case with the magnets in order to align with the magnetic charging thing. Let's try the camera. The preview's definitely over sharpened. Let's see how the final image looks. Damn, that's a lot of resolution. 50 megapixel ultra wide. 200 megapixel wide. 50 megapixels on the Tele 2 lens and 10 megapixels on the Tele 1 lens. That is flipping wild. That is definitely a more pleasing zoom, even on the plus. Whoops.
Yeah, that color's way better.
Yeah, skin tone too. But hold on, if you're coming from an older Note, huh? Yeah, okay, there's some generation over generation improvement there, huh? Dude, those skin tones though. That is not what this man looks like. I don't know, we can play around with the telephoto. Let's play around with the telephoto, all right? How does it nail the skin tones now? Sorry, the top down doesn't look very good. I've got the brightness up too high for you right now. Hold on. Too bright, you shine too bright, Mr. Bellavones. That's way better. What the crap? It's almost like there's trade-offs for everything. Look at this. Hot actual garbage. So your mileage may vary, ladies and gentlemen. I am not a fan of how every phone is just like a squared off brick these days. I picked up my old iPhone 6S the other day because I was thinking of taking it with me on a trip, just like loading some media on it, having like a beater phone with a headphone jack that I don't care about. And I picked it up and I was like, damn, phones used to be so light and thin and pocketable. And it's like, Like you can hear it. Like you can hear the sound when this thing falls down. On the right, we've got the volume rocker as well as our lock button. On the left, we got nothing as it should be, so you have a surface to brace yourself against. On the top, we've got, I don't know, noise canceling microphones. And then on the bottom, we've got our USB-C port, SIM tray, as well as our stylus. Like what a weird cost saving measure, no longer includes Bluetooth support. I use the remote shutter feature on this thing all the flipping time. It is awesome because what it allows you to do is if you're, able to get good, instead of using your selfie camera, which is particularly bad on a phone this old, I can use my rear camera and take a little picture. It's freaking awesome. That's the only thing that I cared about Bluetooth for. But I don't know what, because Samsung doesn't advertise the feature enough and not that many people use it, they just rip it out of the phone by default? Is it at least generation over generation compatible? I don't think so. Nope, look at this. They are so slightly a different length. There's a bunch of AI stuff. You can hold the power button to have Gemini do stuff. Open the camera and take a selfie. Oh, I actually was not expecting that to do anything. Open up a note-taking app. What if I don't know what my note-taking app is called? Samsung Notes. Oh, we haven't talked about gaming performance. This thing performs like a hot damn. Even once it reaches steady state, it absolutely crushes the last generation as well as the Pixel 9 Pro. We did find a weird issue, by the way. I probably should have mentioned this when we were talking about the screen. If you like auto brightness, no problem. This thing will do over 2000 nits and it'll just adjust to whatever's going on in your daily life. If you don't like auto brightness though, in SDR, it'll only go as high as around 450 nits. They do have like an extra brightness toggle that you can put on, but that still only gets up to around 850. So you're not really taking advantage of the entire capability of this display. I have waited so patiently, Samsung, for you to give me a successor to this. Something with hands-free unlocking. This one had an iris scanner. Gone, so now I just get the underscreen fingerprint scanner or I have to use the camera. No bullet hole or notch in the display. Expandable storage, headphone jack. Like, what I really want is for Sony to fix the ability to swap the multitask and the back button. I would just use an Xperia so that I could have my headphone jack. But as it is, they don't do that, and as a right-handed person who likes to press back here and not across and risk dropping my phone, it's just simply not an option. And yes, I'm aware that gestures exist. I just dailied a phone with gesture control for like 3 months. I don't prefer it. So yeah, sure. I'm gonna go S25 Ultra and I don't know, maybe I'll do an LTT review if I have any more thoughts, but honestly, these things have gotten to the point where it's just like, yeah, when you need a new one, you kind of get the new one. But I think the days of, upgrading the last gen one to the latest one are long behind us. And you see that reflected in people's sort of disappointment as new generation after new generation comes out. Oh God, they rounded the corners on the screen, whatever. Subscribe to ShortCircuit. Oh wait, no, check out our sponsor, dbrand. Oh, sick. They've got their new Ghost 2.0 case for the S25 Ultra, which yeah, I will be immediately using. This was the result of some pretty spectacular drama over on dbrand's side. The lengths that these guys will go to maintain their integrity and fix their mistakes is damn admirable. They launched the original Ghost case back in 2023 with one promise: 0 yellowing. Unfortunately, they missed out on the other major thing that is important for a clear case, and that is scratch resistance. It scratched like crazy. So, after taking a long, hard look at the negative feedback, they went back to the drawing board, spent over a year developing Ghost 2.0, a non-yellowing, very scratch-resistant case, and they went out and at the cost of millions of dollars, replaced every single first generation Ghost case for every one of their customers. That is commitment. Now it's here, it's better than ever, it is incredibly scratch resistant, it is incredibly clear, and they offer a forever, it will not yellow guarantee. That is some serious trust me bro energy. I freaking love to see it. So if you've ever wondered why I take their shit, why I keep taking their sponsorships, it's because that's the kind of attitude that I want to see our sponsors have towards their customers. Yeah, you might not get it right the first time, but damn it, you get it right eventually. So go check them out at the link below. And oh look, they don't even have a meme vanity URL. So you know what? I'll humor them. Go to IamVeryShort.com. And subscribe to ShortCircuit. See you later.